on the Frontline, proudly brought to you by UT Life Insurance.
Hello and welcome to On the Frontline. I am Thomas Nadi Betulma. By law, all institutional training providers and workplace training providers are expected to submit themselves to the Council for Technical and Vocational Education and Training for registration and accreditation. COTVET-recognized institutions are also expected to train professionals using the competency-based training mode to help meet the demands of industry. In this edition, I will explore how effective COTVET has been in ensuring that all training providers operate legally. I will also find out whether the competency-based training mode can help train professionals to meet the demands of industry and help solve the unemployment problem in the country. Human resource development is essential for a nation's growth and development. In the wake of technological advancement and industrialization, experts in these fields determines a nation's sustained economic growth which can enhance the quality of life for its people. Technical and vocational education and training has therefore been identified as a great potential for accelerating a country's development. Unlike other forms of education, it is designed to prepare trainees for a specific profession. In order to pursue a career in this area, an individual has to either gain admission to a technical and vocational institution or to undertake an apprenticeship with a master craftsperson in a particular field. One of the greatest challenges facing technical and vocational education and training currently is the low prestige it enjoys from the public.
Everybody has a talent. Do you understand me? For the mere fact that one that does not speak long English does not mean that one is useless. Maybe his talent is seriously in the skills acquisition. Once you see houses around built by people that you think are not good, I get me. Then if you think that they are not good, then why and they are building for you? Then why do you make use of the building? Then one would think that sensible as you are, if somebody that you perceive to be a very bad material building a house for you, then you don't have to even enterprise because the thing may fall on you. But because you have confidence in their handiwork, yes, you feel comfortable to enter such houses.
Unfortunately, many of the training institutions are also ill-equipped. Some of the institutions rely on the benevolence of donor agencies. The Ministry of Education finances and oversees 45 technical and vocational schools in the country.
All TVET institutions take about 1.5% of the total budget that is given to the Ministry of Education, which is totally inadequate. Yes. I think beyond that, there's also the need for the government to also seriously advertise the importance of TVET.
No, I said Friday.
Another issue of concern is the low enrollment of females in technical institutions.
My name is Magdalene Daniel, and I'm in the welding department. Being the only lady among the boys, at times I feel it as a privilege. I'm proud of it being the only lady among the boys, and it serves as a platform to compete with them and then do better than what they are doing.
How about this? Two. Good. What answer?
The recognition and importance a nation should demonstrate in developing its technical and vocational education and training cannot be overemphasized. In this regard, the Council for Technical and Vocational Education and Training, COTVET, was established by an Act of Parliament, Act 718, to oversee and coordinate all aspects of technical and vocational training in the formal and informal sectors.
COTVET came into being as the result of the numerous challenges that government of Ghana, like all other developing nations, face in the area of skills and manpower development to feed the needs of industry. And it will interest you to know that the goods and services that the populace need is produced by technology and skills very relevant to industry for that matter. The need for this has been a challenge for government since time immemorial, but the era, particularly the decade preceding year 2004, saw a lot of policy initiatives by government to be able to revamp this area. And this led to some policy initiative, key among which is the TVET policy of 2004. Now, having had that, there was the need to actually establish a government entity that would oversee all these activities and drive towards skills enhancement and technology improvement. So this led to the birth of COTVET.
Parliament passed the Council for Technical and Vocational Education and Training Regulations LI 2195 in 2012. The regulation is to ensure that all training providers, including technical and vocational institutes, polytechnics, master craftspersons offering training to apprentices, provide quality service to the general public. It is also expected that the registration and accreditation and the quality assurance elements within the process will put an end to the situation whereby institutions provide substandard training and issue unrecognized certificates to trainees.
The risk of students and parents who find themselves in schools that are not registered is that you are not assured of the quality of education. Those that are registered with COTVET are under a direct supervision. We have an input into the content, we have an input into the syllabus that they use, so you can be sure that these are institutions that are using the competency-based training mode of training. If they are not registered, if they are not accredited, then you are not assured of that. So it's basically a matter of quality.
CODVET recognized institutions are also expected by law to deliver training in the competency-based training mode. It is an industry-driven education and training program based on industry-generated standards. Training providers are therefore expected to work closely with industry to ensure that the training learners receive is relevant to industry. Industry is involved in the whole training process, including curriculum development.
With the accreditation process, it looks at the institutional capacity to really deliver the training as per the industry standards. So it looks at the program itself, its relevance to industry. You know, the policy direction we are taking now is supposed to give people employment, as against the current traditional system where people graduate and they become unemployed. So with the CODVET registration accreditation process, the training provider will make a statement of excellence to say that the kind of training I'm giving to these graduates will be employed by the industry. And that means before he gets the accreditation for the program, he has sought industry's input into the curriculum design. So industry now validates that yes, this kind of caliber of people you are training for me will fit into my system. So train them for me. So you don't train them and leave them to their fate. To add to this, between registration and accreditation is what we call center approval. You may have institutions like, let's say, Accra Polytechnic with different departments running different programs. There are some programs that will come on board this training registration process. So the department that is seeking to roll out this program is giving center approval. So the registration doesn't cover a whole of the institution, but it covers a sector or a department of the institution that is seeking to go the competency-based mode training to train people to fit into the industry.
Either you have people learning trade and it is what your master knows and teaches you is what you must take. But under the competency-based training, we actually try to explain that it must be demand-driven. It is what industry wants. It's what the technology level of the nation is right now want. Such that when somebody goes through training in, say, automotive or mechanics, learning how to fix a car in, say, Kumasi, in Bogatanga, in Adan, or any part of Ghana, the skill level of these people by the time they come out must be the same. So through the competency-based training, we ensure that we put in programs that will ensure that these skills levels are harmonized across the length and breadth of the nation and across all trade areas in the nation.
Experts have recommended this mode of training for all technical and vocational training providers.
CBT is industry and demand-driven education training program. It is learner-centered and it's totally different from the traditional way of group learning into individualized learning. So that's the distinct difference between the CBT and the traditional education training. The importance is that it is focused on the learner and it treats the learner as a unique individual. It does not treat them as group. So in this case, a learner is taken care as a unique person with your limitation, with your potential, and it's a program that you can quickly finish without necessarily sticking to a defined and clearly defined schedule of time. You can go to a program and you can finish early, and the slow learner can be taken care of. What's the traditional? All of them have to go to the same time of learning, and they don't consider individual differences in the learning.
How can this help us solve our unemployment problem?
Because it's industry-driven and it's demand-driven. In principle, when there's no demand for a program, you don't train people. So you are not going to train people who will be unemployed. all people that are going to be trained are people who are in demand. It's demand and industry driven. So when there's no demand, you don't train them. So it's going to solve our problems, because the programs that are not in demand, you don't train.
The Accra Technical Training Center provides various types of training programs for students.
We'll finish with our service and we want to check whether the lights are working. So you check all the various lighting systems. So just go ahead and do that. Okay. This is the automech department of Accra Technical Training Center. What we do is provide training for students. Basically, we look at the maintenance of motor vehicle, and then also we provide advice on motor vehicle maintenance and some other things here.
So what kind of challenges do you encounter when you are teaching the students, and what kind of support do you need?
But the challenges are many, but of course let's look at this one. Of course, with equipment, of course we have a problem, and then the class size is also a problem, because if you want to train effectively, then you need a small size, but the class is very large, and that is a big problem, because of course then it means you cannot give proper training or quality training. So that's the problem we have.
The training center has been using the competency-based mode of training for some time now.
We live in the competitive world. And for that matter, you see, the job market will also be becoming competitive. So if you train your students in areas anyhow, you see, getting employment becomes very, 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 very difficult. So what we have started doing is that we have liaised with the various industries to learn from them the kind of competencies that they want. In other words, the kind of standards that they have built in their various industries in terms of skills acquisition. So yes, we also train our students in that area, so that when they leave here, getting employment will not be too difficult for them.
But what kind of skills does industry require from graduates?